Welcome back to Mental Exploration. Today, we set off on a fascinating adventure via psychological techniques that will give you the power to influence people persuasively. And we promise you that you'll have the skills to persuade anyone of anything by the time this video is over. So, let's explore the vastness of the mind to discover these fascinating psychological truths. Let's first examine the importance of convincing in our day-to-day activities before we look at the techniques. A strong communication talent that enables us to sway others' opinions, attitudes, and choices is persuasion. Learning this skill can influence the course of a negotiation, a presentation of an idea, or any other situation. Think about being a member of a team that is suggesting an idea for something at work. You must comprehend the objectives, worries, and priorities of your coworkers and superiors in order to influence them. Use language that reflects their ideals in your attempt to address their individual requirements. You'll have a better chance of getting their support if you do this. Now that you understand the power of persuasion, let's examine the fundamental psychological techniques that will aid you in developing persuasiveness. The first technique is understanding your audience. The first step in effective persuasion is to thoroughly understand your audience. You should adapt your message to fit their needs, tastes, and morals. Demonstrate genuine understanding and empathy to build a relationship and boost receptivity to your ideas. For example, when presenting an item to a wide consumer base, learn about the interests and problems of each sector, and make sure to tailor your marketing messages to each group, emphasizing how the product meets their unique demands. In fact, this tailored strategy strengthens the emotional connection and increases the likelihood of a favorable reaction. Technique number 2, building credibility. By demonstrating your subject matter expertise, knowledge, and experience, you may establish yourself as a reliable source. In fact, individuals have greater probability to be convinced by those they believe to be reliable and credible. For instance, consider that you are presenting on climate change. Share your experience in studies of the environment and pertinent research to get things started. Then, cite reliable references to back up your assertions and show that you are dedicated to the cause. Therefore, the public will be more open to the intensity of the problem and your suggested remedies if you can build credibility. The third psychological technique is leveraging social proof. If you want to become persuasive, you should use the psychological principle of social proof, which states that people are affected by the behaviors and viewpoints of others. And to show how your ideas or initiatives have helped others, use case studies, success stories, and of course, data. Let's say you're starting an online campaign for a good cause, for example. So here, you should include references from prior recipients and funders to highlight the beneficial effects your organization has had. You can also share figures that demonstrate the project's success. So, potential contributors will feel more assured if their help will have an impact if social proof is provided. Technique number 4, reciprocity and the principle of give and take. Employing the principle of reciprocity, wherein people feel compelled to give back when they receive something, is mandatory to become persuasive. Always offer value, assistance, or information before making a request. This fosters a sense of indebtedness, increasing the likelihood of their cooperation. You can also provide free workshops or materials to participants of a community event if you're looking for support before pleading for their help. Customers will be more ready to donate time or assets as a sign of reciprocity if you provide value upfront. Now that you have psychological techniques for effective persuasion, it's important to understand that the practice of persuasion and memory improvement go hand in hand. So, you can strengthen your efforts to persuade others by implementing the following tactics. And the first one is storytelling. Use stories to hold your audience's attention because they foster emotional connections and increase memory stickiness, as narratives have a significant impact on memory retention. For example, talk about how a similar program changed the life of a student when trying to convince people to help an educational project. By creating a captivating tale, you can arouse feelings that help people remember your message more deeply. Tactic number 2. repetition, and reinforcement. The use of repetition is essential in persuasive communication. It is advised to repeat important points throughout your talk to help your listeners remember them and reinforce your primary points in a persuasive presentation at key moments. And of course, to make sure they are ingrained in your audience's mind, use varied language to emphasize their significance. And the last tactic we have for you guys today is engaging the senses. Let's say you're an environmental conservationist. Make use of tactile components, audio recordings, and visual aids to emphasize the need of protecting the environment and the beauty of nature. This multi-sensory strategy helps your audience deeply internalize your content. Well guys, that's it. You now have the psychological techniques needed to communicate effectively. Keep in mind to comprehend your audience, establish credibility, use social proof, and apply the reciprocity principles. And of course, don't forget to respect different points of view and to use this authority properly and encourage those around you. And we are more than certain that your persuasive skills combined with empathy and honesty will bring beneficial changes in the world we live in. We appreciate your participation in this mental exploration. If you learned something from this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and spread the word to other adventurers. Continue probing the inner workings of your mind and arming yourself with psychological knowledge. Till the next time, keep exploring.